Okay, folks, if you're watching this, it's because you're probably about to start working on your pre-lab or you're finishing up your pre-lab. Just to remind you, you do need goggles for lab or for recitation starting this week, Tuesday through Monday. Okay, remember 228 Bury is open on Monday from 10 to 11, or 1 to 2 if you have lab on Tuesday. All right? You also need a red safety sheet. You can pick this up in the copy center in room 234 Ritter, and just fill out one of the sheets in the back and have it ready to hand in to your recitation/lab instructor at the beginning of lab. Okay, so scifinder is pretty easy to get into or to log into. Just Google scifinder on any browser and something that looks like the screen right now should pop up. All right, you're just going to want to choose, this link that's already purpled out because I've used it before. Now, when you guys first try to log in, it's going to ask you if you've used scifinder before. You say no. It'll ask you to register. It's just like any other website. You think of a login name and a password real quick. Register. It's free. Do not pay any money, and then you can proceed as usual. So here's the username and password thing, just like any other sign-in, not hard. It's just, this will not be what pops up the very first time if you haven't registered yet. Once you've registered, this is what will pop up as soon as you click that link on the Google search page. All right, so there's two approaches to finding information on scifinder. We use scifinder to find sort of physical data on chemicals. So what's a boiling point? What's the density? This, that, and the other thing. All right. So the first approach is to search by chemical structure. Okay. So on this box, this is a screenshot of one page. All right. And I've highlighted here chemical structure. So you can click on that and a box like this page will pop up. All right. So you'll have this little editing thing that will pop up, and you're going to click here, and a new screen will pop up that will let you draw things on it. All right, so when you click to edit button, this screen is going to pop up right here. All right, and so highlighted here in red is sort of just the drawing tools. The letters represent elements, so carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, so on and so forth. Okay, you see these lines right here. This is a single bond, double bond, triple bond. Okay, the dotted bond you don't need to worry about. And then there's some structures down at the very bottom here that are sort of ring systems that we could use if we wanted to. So just to demonstrate that, I have this screen here. So I've chosen, in this case, this tab, this hexagon with alternating single and double bonds. I then selected the single bond. All right, and I drew in this bond, all right, and then I clicked on oxygen, put the oxygen here, and then I selected hydrogen and put the hydrogen there, okay? Now, so this molecule is called phenol, and over here on the right, you'll see that I've highlighted exact search, okay? We've drawn a molecule that's the exact molecule that we want to search for, so I selected exact search, and clicked OK. All right, and that takes us to this screen. All right, it'll leave the editor into back into this smaller version of the structure, and all you have to do is click search again right here. All right, now at that point we get a lot of different options. All right, so here are 4 molecules. They kind of all look like phenol. Right, and yet 3 of them are not phenol. You could get 20 different molecules that aren't the exact molecule that you're looking for. All right, so here I've highlighted in green the one that is explicitly described as phenol. All right, this is what we want. We want the exact thing that we're looking for. And so under that structure, you're going to click experimental properties, which is highlighted here. Okay, so experimental properties. That's going to take you to a screen like this. All right. Notice that, so you guys are going to be looking for density for your pre-labs. All right, so you're going to want to click on the tab over here to the right, but it's usually third from the left. Okay, so this gives you a whole bunch of values. All right, there's a big table here, right? These are all density values here on the left. All right, so for the chemical that you're trying to find, we've discussed it in class, so you want to find a density value in this column that matches that number that we've discussed in class pretty darn closely. All right, and then your homework is going to ask you for a reference. All right, so what do you do with the reference, or how do you find the reference? All right, so the reference is you find yourself a value. All right, and let's say, let's use a different color here. So let's say we want to use this very first value. All right, 1.07 density of phenol. All right, this is our first column. We're going to follow this line all the way over to the very right-hand column, and here we see numbers that aren't in order. We see 82, 4, 26, 22, 83 going down. Okay, so 82 is the number of the reference. Okay, the reference being the journal article from which this information came. So if you continue to scroll down, you will come to what is highlighted in this green circle here. So 82 is just the number of the reference. This came from a journal of molecular structure. Okay, there's lots of extra information in here. And scifinder is going to give you a reference in a format that isn't perfect, but I'll show you the way to correct that for the future. This is more important for your presentations at the end of the semester than it is for the pre-lab, but you need to be able to track down sources. Okay, there is another approach that will work. If you're not comfortable with the drawing program, that's okay. From the very start, once you're logged into scifinder, instead of choosing chemical structure, you can come over here on the left and you can highlight substance identifier right here. Okay. So you click on that, it's going to give you a screen that looks like this. All right, basically a search bar. And you can just type in the name of a structure. So here I've just typed in ethanol, and you hit search, not surprisingly. Okay, this is going to give you, it might possibly give you a few different molecules, but in this case we just have the one. All right, again, this says ethanol right here. So this is the exact molecule that we're looking for. You're going to click on experimental properties, and that again will get you to a similar table. Again, density. Now we're 4 tabs in from the left. All right, make sure that you click on the density tab in order to find this stuff. You don't need to worry about all the other tabs here. Just find density. Okay, and yeah, so the same thing applies. You find a density value that's close to what we've talked about in class, and then you reference the note to go find the actual journal article. Okay? Finally, just to show you how a journal article should be cited properly for a chemistry class, I've given you an example of one of my papers. So you put author 1, author 2, last name first, comma, first name, middle name. Then you put the journal abbreviation in italics, followed by the year of publication in bold, a volume number in italics, and then number of pages. All right, so scifinder has given us a version that's not quite the same, or it does give us a name. It gives us a full journal name, which is great. It has a volume here with V in it. That's not exactly the way we would want to do it for chemistry, and so we change this a little bit. We just use last name and abbreviate the first name there. Okay. Journal in italics. Again, year in bold, volume italicized, and then page numbers. All right, so just a little bit different, and this one's pretty easy. If you're ever doing this and you need help, myself or your TAs can help you with this when it comes to citing things properly for your paper. So anyway, hopefully this helps you guys with your pre-lab, And if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me. Thanks very much.